Can't know where Atlanta's going if you don't first know your history. Listen,
after that, I went to prison. But the craziest part, which I like to bring my stuff out sometime, I went to prison. I made $250,000 in prison. I still ran everything. I ran Bad Boy. I ran AT&T. I ran Interscope. I ran Violator. But didn't nobody know it. I was behind the bars running the whole city.
All right, yes sir. Here we is with another edition, man, of the Atlanta rap history. And I don't know what it is, man. It's your boy Magic Moore. You know what I'm saying? Chuck C, man. You know you out there, man, and everything. But hey, we got something real special tonight. And when I say special, I'm talking about, man, I'm talking about somebody who had both feet goddamn in the ground out here doing this thing, man. Coming up back in the day, that's responsible for a lot of artists, man, being where they at to this day, man. And we talking about none other than we talking about Kaspa the Don, y'all. Get up, Kaspa the Don.
Hey man, I appreciate it. You know, it's just elated because I saw your podcast and I was like, man, I gotta be on there.
For sure, man.
It was official. You know, especially with just listening to the real history.
That's right.
So yeah, man, I appreciate it, man.
And we appreciate you being here. Especially, man, on this day. This is a special day, man. Yeah, man, we talking about it, Kaspa the Don birthday, y'all. Yeah, y'all get it one more time. Birthday, man, in the house, man. You know, he could have been anywhere in the world, man, but he right here with us, man. Atlanta rap history. Already, y'all know what it is, man. So yeah, man, we're gonna really dive on into this thing, man, because people, man, you know, it's a lot of people that know who the hell Kaspa the Don is, but you know, it's some that don't. So we're gonna start from the beginning, man. We're gonna tell them first of all, man, where you from, man?
Well, originally I am from Los Angeles by way of Altadena, by way of Pasadena, but I'm from LA, Los Angeles County, and right, and straight from the deck.
Straight from the deck. We talking about the east side of this thing, man. Already. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Sure. Yes.
That's for sure. But you know, I had to give him, you know, in the beginning of, you know, the stages of, you know, Kaspa the Don, man, I was, you know, privileged being my group, man, my crew, my label and everything, man. We had the honor and the privilege, man, to be out on the road, man, with Kaspa. He made some stuff happen for us. And I'm talking about for real. He had us out there, man, while he was, you know, doing that promote for Cash Money. So we had a chance to do some shows and open up, you know, for him. We did a 7-city tour, man. You know what I'm saying? We went from everywhere from Kentucky to Cincinnati, man, Ohio. That was, man, that had to be somewhere, man, in the early years. I probably say about 97, man, 98-ish.
97, 98.
Now, we talking about the 90. That before a lot of y'all were born, man, for real. We thought about it.
97, 98.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. Oh, and we talking about Cash Money Records. So, like I say, him being a part of where a lot of artists are at today, you know, I have to say that for Cash Money, the label too, man, because he played an integral part in that and everything. But this man just done so much, man. This not even scratching the surface, just talking about, you know, just Cash Money, man. So we're going to get into some other things, man, that he, you know, had his hand in, man, and everything. And, you know, a lot of stuff, man. We just go get into Kaspa the Don tonight, y'all. For real, for real. So, yeah, man, you know, tell us, man, a little bit about, you know, your years between 1997, you know what I'm saying, kind of getting started. Yeah, what it was like, what put you in the game of doing this, man?
Period, man. First of all, RIH to my boy Mayhem, my boy Van, Ivan Kyler. You know, that was my dog. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that know me from back in those days, you know, when I first started was going into Clarkson. You know what I'm saying? We were hustling. So at that point in time, you know, I think we had a studio. Okay. And, right over there by, not far from Strokers, but we had a studio over there, and we actually ended up throwing a couple of parties. But Van was like the person that put the first team together. It was called Nubian Funk. You know what I'm saying? And we thought he was tripping because he put a tattoo on his arm and everything. This was back in the 97 they was doing it. So I was like, hey man, he's dead serious about, you know, and then at that point in time, because we were in Clarkston, you know, on the east side, we tapped into Big D, and Big D was dealing with Nino and Wicked.
That's Ghetto Mafia, y'all don't know. Straight from the dick.
So and Nino was a character. Like, if you know Nino, he was always a character, and Wicked was like real laid back. And I just remember them coming over and they started recording with my boy Van.
Okay.
You know, and we threw a party, you know what I'm saying, for the first time. You know what I'm saying? And when I threw that party, we threw it at right over there behind the Kentucky Fried Chicken. It used to be a little club spot way back in the day, over there in Clarkston.
Okay.
And I just remember passing out flyers and networking, and that made my hustle.
Okay.
You know, at the same time, though, you know, at the same time, right around that time, at the same time, you know, I was out there promoting records.
Okay.
So I would go to like, you know, La Face, I think it opened. So I would go to La Face because Clarkston, my homegirl Chelsea, used to work at La Face, and she worked with Shanti Doss. And then my little homie Randall worked there. You know what I'm saying? So I used to just go up there and be like, yo, and I was hustling. So anytime, you know, when it started opening up in Atlanta, around that time, they opened up the first club that really took off, like on some superstar power on the east side, which was Club Flavor.
Club Flavor.
And then they opened up the Atrium.
And
you know what I'm saying? One of the biggest parties you ever saw was Andre Rison and Lisa Left Eye. It was the biggest party ever Atlanta had seen. And it was a whole new wave popping in Atlanta. And at that time, I ended up getting an internship. Okay. So when I got the internship, I started working at Hot 97.5. This is when KK and Bootleg, you know, I used to intern for Shaka and this dude named Leonard McGee. Okay. And so during that time, you know, I was hustling. So shoot, first time they let me, I was like learning the radio and asking them questions. And I was like, well, I told Chris Leva and Poon Daddy, you know, shout out to my boy Poon. I told Poon Daddy, I was like, hey man, I'm about to book y'all down in West Georgia.
Okay. Okay.
And so that's when I got, you know, fired as an intern.
Yeah.
That was a crazy moment for me because it was like, y'all already ain't paying me. And then I get fired. But the crazy part, the interns, you know, shout out to them. It was Lala, y'all know Carmelo wife. Me, Lala, Marsha Meadows, Meat, and and this dude named Jeff. And he was out in, you know, and then it was Ludacris. Okay. You know, he was Chris Leva at the time. That's right. But how I tapped into that was that my sister dated Tip for like 4 years. So, you know, I was off the chap. So, you know, that was the debt. And my sister dated Tip for like 4 years when he was 13. Like his feet weren't even touching the floor when I used to come in the D. And he was like super bad. You know what I'm saying? Like this is like an early part of me, you know, not even touching, getting into the game. And I would see Tip, you know, all the time. And then like a few years later, she ended up being cool with Chris Leva. And he was over at the house. And he was like, man, I be seeing you promoting and I see you doing, they got some intern jobs over there. So really my sister was a plug. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You know, she was best friends with another girl in a group called Co-Ed that was signed to Patchwork. They had a song called Roll With Me. It was a major hit in the city. And just at that time, just passing out flyers, I learned that was my network. Because your network is your network. I don't care what you do today, 2022, 2023. You know, your network is your network. That's right. And so I just love passing out flyers, getting in the club for free because I was interning at the station. So everybody already built a face card in the city. That's right. You know what I'm saying? So Atrium Flavors, I'm getting in free. As long as I got product with me, they was letting me in free. You know, I had other products. You know, I was hustling. Like, so at the end of the day, it was making sense for me. You know what I'm saying? Then the biggest Mac game I could ever have was new music. You know what I mean? So I just became that made that my space. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So I wanted to really, you know, I had and one big intricate part of my story, I had twins on the way. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So you know when you talking to your chick and da. She didn't hit me with I'm pregnant. She hit me with I'm about to have twins. Hey, and that'll make it. You talking about? Hey, that will put you on the hustle right there. Man, you talking about life is over if you don't. You know, And significantly, you know, I had got my life on track, and at that point in time, you know, I connected to the streets and so in different levels when I came from LA. So I knew a lot of people, you know, when I was just in the streets, like Doug. I never forget old Doug. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Doug, man.
Doug promo. Hey, Doug, man.
Money making records.
So listen.
The nightlight, yeah, we need that bitch back. We need the nightlight back, y'all. For real. That's what we need back, for real. We need the nightlight back.
We need nightlight, chanterelles, what else?
It gotta be in the same spot though. It gotta be right
be the same, yeah.
It gonna be the same if it be in a
and we
different
need
club.
Dub. We need Dub. We got to have Dub.
Like I've been seeing so many different flowers out here, but I'm like, man, you know, I haven't really. I tell my story to my students. You know, saying as an educator, I give them. But I think the people should know, and it's good that you doing an interview. You know what I'm saying? So back to that Cash Money situation.
Yeah.
So, you know, around that time, the first record I ever promoted and I got paid for, a dude sent me in Peppermint Records. A dude named Rico Brooks used to work at the one in the West End, and I was in there putting up some posters. And the dude walked in. He was like, "Hey, man, I want to pay you $700 a month to do this." And I just looked because I was like, you know, are you going to pay me?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And at the time, like I said, I had twin daughters on the way. So it was just like a significant thing about understanding like what every hustle should be. And so it was this dude named Stokes, Dwayne Stokes. Shout out to him. He in Augusta. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to that whole, shout out to that whole crew.
Shout out to D-Rec.
Man. Shout out to the Rec Shop in Houston, Originals.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? His brother played for the Atlanta Falcons. It was like, they just took me and his family. And it was an artist named Tyga. And he used to be down with like 6ix9ine, my boy Ely. They had a little group too. They actually performed at Center Stage back in the day, but they lost against Usher. And that's when Usher got signed at Center Stage when he got the single on Poetic Justice. So a lot of y'all that don't know, I was there for that.
Okay.
So, you know, that's real history. You know what I'm saying? 6ix9ine.
Well, shout out to Tiger, man, for sure. You know, because like I said,
shout out to Tiger.
He was a part of Silk.
Right.
He was in the group Silk.
Yeah.
And exactly. And I have to say this, man, Tiger did a song on 8-Time Player's first album called Cruising Together.
Oh, I remember Cruising.
Yeah, so that's me that, you know, did the skit on front of it.
So you did some other records.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definition of Player. I'm on that album, 8-Time Player first album.
I promoted 8-Time Player.
Yeah.
For,
so you know
for Eric.
Okay, yeah.
Eric was he was the A&R for Elektra. He was working with Sylvia Rhone then. Well, I learned about that as the story goes on. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah. Straight fact.
Did the man, y'all. Hey.
So in this step though, the shout out to DJ Wiz. He produced this record, you know, and when the story goes along, my man DJ Wiz produced this record. I meet him 17 years, 18 years, 20 years later.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we plugged and did some things, but in the interim of that, my process was, man, I got these twin daughters. So it was just like getting anything else. Like, shoot, I need 5 people to pay me $700.
That's right.
And that's how my story worked. Now, you know, dealing with us, I'll go to the rim shop. Shout out to G, hooked it up.
Oh, yeah,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? RH to my boy Phil. You know what I'm saying? I was actually living down the street. And at that time, me and Van had just moved out of Clarkston in that space. And then we live in a rundown spot. It's on Ralph McGill and Ellis Street, right there on the corner. It's a restaurant now.
Fourth Ward.
But a dude gave it to us that was a friend of my pops. And the house had rats in it and everything else. I'll never forget. There was a point in time, the mother of my child was like, I'm not coming over. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was something that we went through.
That's
you
right.
know, we was
That's
dead
right.
in the middle of Fourth Ward. You know what I'm saying? Heat didn't work it sometimes. And then right up the street, Drama and Cannon and Scent stayed up the street.
Okay.
You know
Left, right, left drama?
Nah.
Okay.
DJ
Drama. Okay,
yeah.
we talking about DJ Drama.
DJ Drama.
Okay, he was down here that early?
DJ Drama, Scent, and Cannon lived up the street.
Wow.
Might not be directly in that time, but they lived right up the street.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, because they still live here, you know what I'm saying, at a point in time. Well, maybe not, yeah, because that was a little bit more time than that. Okay. Right. Because that was probably about 2003. But yeah, that house right now is a restaurant. So just look at the gentrification. You know what I'm saying? I went in the restaurant and I told the people, like, I used to live in here. You know what I'm saying? This place had rats in it and everything. You know what I'm saying? It was tripping, like, what? Wow. So it's just, as life changes, but by the time, some people would pay me $200. I got paid $200 to promote Keith Murray and Lil Kim. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Eric Sermon, shout out to him. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bernard Alexander, because that was the person that ran the whole Death Squad. He came back in my life. But the Rim Shop, it used to be me, Young Tay, Rob, and Jock. Okay. We used to be up there every day, man. It used to be the spot where you just tap in and hustle. And around that time, my boy Stacey Augman came here and he started playing for the Hawks. So then my life kind of, you know what I'm saying? He was cool, and Too Short came down here right after that. And shout out to Wayne, shout out to the whole crew, shout out to Wayniac. Hey, so what ended up happening was I ended up getting an internship at Patchwork around that time. Okay. Jazzy Faye used to come down and he used to produce records down in the bottom of the basement of the Rim Shop. And that was around the time Tupac was coming through, and Pac would be in the Rim Shop. And it used to be just a cluster, like somebody walk in, everybody run, trying to make some money, trying to sell some rims, trying to do something, trying to get some money. So that's right. At that time, Young Tay and me, we was in the same age group. So Young Tay was actually getting close with Short, and him being from Detroit, it just kind of interacted because my boy Bear Zoo, the whole Zoo crew was in effect. Okay. And around that time, I think Lil Jon, it was Lil Jon, Cersei, Vincent, and Rob. Now, this is the crazy, and I can't forget my dog Pest. I just saw Pest. Shout out to Pest. So, shout out to Pest. He was a young nephew of the whole Black Market Entertainment. So, and promotion competition. So, I tapped in and got an internship at Patchwork. And to me, that was a real change in my life because, Bob Whitfield was from LA. Yeah. Curtis is from LA. BJ was from LA. So it was like I was tapped back in, and the other cats was coming around that was just cool from the city, like Clay. Okay. Grand Hustle Clay. At the time, Razzcast. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We were promoting Razzcast. Okay. Right? Like I remember that. But me and Jason Jeter were the interns that were working here upstairs. Jason Jeter. Grand Hustle Jason Jeter. Now go back. Jason Jeter know me because my sister dated Tip. So it wasn't like, when it go to the whole Grand Hustle, they was already like my family because I already knew them as kids. Right. Yeah. V is mama. History, man. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy part, we go back to a TV show. And my kids, like I got a program, not just to jump off, but I got a program. That's right. And I was shooting a TV show, so we let kids come on the set because I do an Earn While You Learn program. So the kids got to come on the set. They went to V House, Tip Mama House for those that don't know. So, but they got a picture of my sister and Tip when they was in the 8th grade prom, and my kids saw it. So you got to imagine how that how that looks or how that we got real history, that you tapped into. But going back with you, that's when I logged in, man, when I was interning at Patchwork. I used to still go to the Rim Shop, and I tapped into the homie Brian Gotti. Because Brian Gotti, he stayed by my mama. Okay, Scott Dale, Brian Gotti, man. Yeah. That's damn shame and everything, Gotti, man. Stayed by my mama. And we was tapped in anyway, just from face. Right. And then he ended up plugging me in. I ended up meeting this cat named KV. KV. Hey, KV, man, shout out to him, man. Drew B on K. Matter of fact, y'all check out that show we got on OG KV, man. You know what I mean? He's still out here doing his thing. Now yes, for real, to me, OG KV was like really my he was a best of friend with me, man, because at the end of the day, he gave me my first opportunity without having all that, replica behind it. He was like, he saw what was happening. And so right around that time, I started promoting A Born Threat. And Mr. Cool. Shout out. That's my brother in this thing, man.
You know, Lego Boys, man.
I started promoting A Born Threat, right?
Check that one out too.
And then at that time, it was a Born Threat, you know. And then at that same time, I was coming to the Gate, this club called the Gate. It was next door to Jazzy T's on
Columbia Drive. Where it's live at?
It was like my first time. It was my first time. I used to go to the DJ, meeting the DJ, trying to pump him to get this Born Threat going, you know, because that's my thing. I'm learning to get in the clubs now. I'm doing all the retail. I understand that. We got Peppermint, you know what I'm saying? We got Super Sound. Shout out to Theo.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to Jay with
Vibes, Music, and more.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Shout out to Earwax. Shout out to Jazz. Shout out to, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Third World, man.
It was a lot of space in it.
And most definitely L with Jay, man. L with Jay Shop, man.
Well, you know, that's part of the original.
Yeah,
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That old Atlanta, that throwback Atlanta.
I used to peek, I used to peek in the window, and I used to be over here because my daughter, you know, grandma owned the building. You know, that one building on the end that was at. There was a beauty salon, or beauty spot.
Right. The one at McAfee.
It was one on the end, right?
That's 1986 County Road, y'all.
Right. Her name was Allie Mae. Shout out to Allie Mae. You know, she was the original flipper in Decatur. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Had all the houses in Decatur. So at that time, because I used to poke in the window, I remember you could see a DJ, and I used to see Kizzy Rock down there. You know what I'm saying? They used to have, and that was where they used to have a little DJ thing in the front of the store. Yeah, this is facts.
Shout out to Kizzy Rock, man. Hey, J-Team for life, man. That's my DJ,
that's the
man.
J-Team. I can speak on it because I seen it.
Real talk.
And boom. So that's that camera roll. So real talk, to speed it up, is just at that time, you know, I was interning at Patchwork, and a dude named Eric. Eric was an A&R for Electric. And at that point in time, I was really out in the marketplace. Okay. And a dude named Rob, he used to come down there, he used to play the guitar. They had just got a deal. And he was like, yo, I see you working a lot. We got all the promotion accounts. And at that time, Lil John was a DJ. And he used to DJ at the warehouse on Fridays. And so Lil John, Cersei, and
shout out to the warehouse.
Yeah. So he was signed. He was signed to the warehouse as the local house DJ. And so then Rob was like, "Well, look, we about to get in this production with Black Market Entertainment Production. We about to leave this alone. You can have all the promotion accounts." And I was like, "Am I gonna get paid?" You know what I'm saying? Like, and he was like, "Yeah, you're gonna get paid off each account that you work." But they already had, like, they was like, "Yo, this account paying $700, we're gonna give you $500 of it." You know what I'm saying? This account paying $600, we're gonna give you $300 of it. Whatever it was, I was like, yes, because you know, as you know, I got a twin daughter.
More money.
And when I figured it out, it was like, you know, it was like, how does this make sense? You know what I'm saying? Like, how does this make sense? Because I'm looking at going into one space with 5 different products. Okay. So that's when I understood that the music and the frequency, it was still the same product. You know, is how the people accepted it. You know what I'm saying?
True that.
And so around that time, I was still messing with G, hooked it up at the rim shop. They paid me like $200. This dude named Buck Wild. Shout out to him, Diaz. I called him Diaz. He was like, talk to Buck Wild. Buck Wild gave me like $25 to promote Lil Kim for a month. But it didn't really matter at that time, like stickers. I just needed the money. You know what I'm saying? And I understood if I'm a part or attached to this product, then people can see my work. And that's what we get out of the work, the process. Where's the work? Like, that's right. So when you started seeing my work across the city, cats were already knowing, you know? So that's what helped build that resume, and that value was putting in the work. If you wasn't turning the corner and couldn't see my work, then I wasn't working. You follow me?
That makes sense.
So just imagine that because sense. That's the whole city in a program now. You know, and the crazy part about it is I had this Dulo marketing, you know what I'm saying? People didn't even know what Dulo meant. It stood for jacking cars in LA, but they never knew. So they used to shout it out in the clubs, radio. They know. They never knew. But it ended up being clear, man. And I was at the rim shop one day, and Kevin was like, I'm finna pull down to the house. He was like, yo, I want you to go out of town and promote this record. And I was like, all right, how much you paying me? He's like, I'm gonna give you 1,700. I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, bet. So I was at the studio the next day, and this is the crazy part. This is the upliftment. Okay. So Eric comes to me. He's like, look, we getting ready to promote this first single with Black Market Entertainment. Okay. I was like, all right, cool. He's like, I'm gonna give you $2,000, but I want you to go to South Carolina. I was like, bro, my car not gonna make it to South Carolina. I had a LeBaron. You already know. I had a LeBaron. That was a LeBaron. It was an A to Z. That Chrysler. Oh man, the Chrysler is not gonna make it. And so right around that time, my homegirl had just got like a little Hyundai. They had just got popping around that time. And you know, you in college, you broke. So in Clarkston, you know, they had all the DeVry students over there. You know what I'm saying? That's where all the DeVry students went to. You know, and I asked her, I was like, look, I need these 2 bands. I was like, look, so I was like, I'm gonna give you $300 and I'm gonna use your car for 1 day. I said, you know, pay your bill for the month. She was like, okay. So boom, there it go. Okay. Set it up, went to Patchwork, got all the posters, got everything, talked to KV, boom. I'm taking both of them down there. So now, this 97, 98, I'm on the road. You already know, I'm finna go into the new market and it's going down. I don't know nobody. So that's even better. Right. Now, here go the secret to this. I had a little black book. So I had it because I used to keep all my information. And I used to write my information down, though. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing that we got away from with these phones. Like you got to write information down. Like you need a notepad. Right, you got to scribe this because that's how it taps into your brain. Right. For real. They don't tell you that though. So anyway, I go down there. I got the phone book because I didn't know where I was doing what I was doing. I cut out all the records and tapes. Boom, wrote it in my book. Then I go in the morning. It was raining. I'll never forget. Pulled up on Cats Records. Pulled up on a couple other little record stores out there, and I met a lot of the people that were in those stores, took pictures with them. Then they put me on to the DJs. So they put me on to TJ Prince Ice, DJ Big G, just cats that was at Fantasy Island. That was a popping spot in Columbia, South Carolina. Yeah, well, so 2 nights. Like if you go back, on 2 nights. Hey, Purple Passion. 2 nights. Big Daddy. Yeah, man. And then girl when he worked that strip. And then we moved up. Then we moved up to 45. And that's where we met old Cleo at. Y'all know Cleo. Anyway. So, I come back and I did a thorough report. And I had all this information in my black book, right? And so when I got back, I was going over to Georgia Line and I heard the record. I was like, wow. Okay. So I was like, this is different. So I get to the studio. I'm telling Eric, I'm like, bro, I just went down there. Here go my report. You know, I did all the work that I could, this is how, I got it popping. The next thing he was like, you did a good job. We heard about it. Da-da-da-da-da. Right? So he pays me the rest of my money. So did the same thing, tapped in with KV. Even though we was in the market in the street, like I made sure I kept detailed reports. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom, this is what I actually did, this is what I tapped into, this is what I actually did on the work. And so at that point in time, the best feeling in the world, the success was, man, I just did something I wanted to do. And then I ended up going to see the child of my mother, and then I broke her off. You know what I'm saying? We got into a mechanism. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting my twins' hair done every week, right off Glenwood. You know what I'm saying? So that process of being a father was everything. So I ended up tapping in the record with Shorty Swing My Way. Shorty Swing My Way. That was like my first record, and I took Mr. Cool Born Threat down there. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And from there, I tapped into this dude from Birmingham that was pushing Kid Fresh. What's his name? Kid Money. Splat Pack. Yeah. The dude I was pushing out of Birmingham, you know what I'm saying? They was boom. And at that point in time, they had hit me and was like, yo, we want you to promote up here with this SMD. He said, we want you to meet this dude named Gene Griffin. So around that time, I'm still pumping up. And I was at the gate every Saturday, bro. And then I ran into this dude. I'm like, bruh, I said, I need you to play this record, man. He was like, man, you gotta, man, I gotta check it out first, man. I don't know who. I said, man, look, man, I need this record played, bro. I just hear you, da-da-da-da-da. So he's like, yeah. So each week, I'm going to the gate. Next thing I know, dude played the record on the radio.
Now, what record we did?
A Born Threat.
Born Threat, man.
And it was
Come on
Greg
now.
Street.
That's what's up, man.
And he told me outside, he was like, hey, man, you really be working.
Yeah.
Pull up to my house tomorrow, man. I got something for you.
Well, you know what else? Captain Don would have kind when he was out promoting. He would actually, you know what I'm saying, be out there. We went on a tour with him, right? While he working our stuff, he working on stuff. He put him on Telegram pole back then, but he would take that picture.
Period.
They let
those
people know that he
receipts?
out there with them receipts.
Those are receipts.
So he would give a receipt for what he was
okay.
doing out there. Because a lot of people would, you know, take your product and don't, you know, show you what they doing, throw it in the trash can, well, but hey, he made his stamp and his mark, man, doing what he's supposed to do and keeping their word about who he is and what he gonna get out there and do when it's time to do it. So yeah, that puts you where you at.
And that was Drew BMK.
That was Drew BMK.
That was
Shout
an
out,
independent
man.
compilation.
My first label, man.
So that 2,000 that was paid to me, the 1,700, I told myself then I need 5 of these.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why they had to pay me is because of that information I had in my black book. These are real facts.
Mm-hmm.
So along from that, Southern Music Distribution opened in Atlanta, and that was the time when we started doing the independent record because we had they had different mechanisms for you to tap into. They had Southwest, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Robert. I met him through Baby, you know what I'm saying, moving in Houston. And that was when Pen and Pixel was popping. You used to have to have your graphics from Pen and Pixel.
Man.
You wasn't popping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
That
then
was Cash Money that we using them, man. Big dog. And that was also Master P and we using No Limit we using Pen and Passer back then. But they were super high with them covers, man.
right.
It almost made you want to just buy the record because of the damn cover.
Because of the cover. Like you wasn't even popping.
Right.
You wasn't even popping unless you had the cover.
Mm-hmm.